we got today is Colts, and it is whiskey flavored. Now, usually I review cigars and such, or talk about them, ones that I truly enjoy. These bad boys are just a bit of cheap fun. When lighting a Colt, the only one way to do it is to use a Zippo. Now these aren't great little cigars, but they hold a warm spot in my heart because it's where it all began. This is a whiskey flavored one. Basically, it tastes like cheap cigar tobacco. And yeah, and that's about it. What I like about them is there's a sense of nostalgia. Go out with the boys, step out of the club, have a Colt, take 15 minutes or so, go back inside, get back to work, as they would put it, or go for a quick walk on the beach. You don't want to be too intrusive with your tobacco products. And, you know, most people who smoke cigarettes will tolerate the Colts. The other day I went to the convenience store, decided to buy a pack of these. Now, I live in Canada, so we get taxed. It's all hell. Let me just bring this up there. You can see how narrow that is. That's tiny. Let's give you like a bit of perspective. There's a Zippo right beside it. It's very, very thin. I believe thinner than a cigarette. And yeah, the thing I like about Colts is this sense of nostalgia. What I don't like is the waste. The plastic tip, that's a waste. The plastic that it's wrapped in, a waste. The tobacco, pretty much garbage. The wrapper is paper. I mean, these are cigarellos, kind of targeted at cigarette smokers. I suppose if you wanted, you could pull this tobacco right into your lungs. Typically, when you smoke a cigar, you don't inhale it into your lungs. You just go into the mouth and you let it out. You could probably get away with inhaling these into the lung. I wouldn't do it. That's not how I enjoy my cigars. The thing about Colts is they smell really good to everyone around, right? So it's not this big overbearing, you know, Cuban tobacco smell or Nicaraguan tobacco. It's just basic, cheap. I don't know where they get the tobacco. I know we do have tobacco farms in Canada. Could be from there. As you can hear, lots of noise today. It ain't exactly a quiet afternoon. Yeah, so if you've been smoking cigars for a while and you want some sort of a quick cigar, Colts are okay, but honestly, I would suggest like Monte Cristo Puritos. You get 5 in a pack, about the same price. A pack of 8 of these tiny little bastards cost me $18. Now I know a convenience store in a town about an hour from here where I can get a pack of Monte Cristo Puritos. Well, there's only 5 in a pack, but they are thicker than this and it is better tobacco, for about 12 or 15 bucks. So I know you can get Guantanameras for about that price. Better yet, I can go to my tobacconist and I can get a 5-pack of Arista Chicos, and a Chico's quite a bit bigger cigar than this, for about the same price. So, you know, you're out on a fishing trip, just want a quick cigar with your buddies, or you're at a wedding, you're stepping out at a nightclub, you want to break from the noise, Colts are fine. Because I don't mind smoking one of these in like 5 or 10 minutes. When I get into like the Cohiba, like when I get to, like a proper Cuban or just a proper Purito, I can, on a good slow day, take 30 minutes with one of those. I'd never take 30 minutes with one of these bad boys. Yeah, it's holding the ash nice though. It's nice to see. Now, I mentioned before how we got to put brown labels on everything. This is an example of what that brown label looks like. It's basically allowed to be that color, say the brand, and that's it. And they do that in Canada because they claim that you're trying to target young people with fancy labels and fancy flavors. My thought is maybe with things like this, they're targeting young people because you can get a Colts that taste like brandy and other sweet things, grape vape, you know. But in terms of like Rocky Patel or Cohiba or, you know, Macanudo, like the real cigar companies, I really doubt you're targeting any young people with those cigars. I really doubt it. I mentioned in these videos a couple times that I live in rural Ontario. Part of the problem of living in rural Ontario is people tend to use their yards as a dump. And unfortunately, I'm looking at a dump beside me. Nothing I can do about it. It's the business next door. Well, there is something I can do about it. And that's get my shit together, get my ass in gear, buy a nicer home. Could happen. It might. For now, I'm going to tolerate this here cold. And yeah, again, I wouldn't recommend them, but I also don't want to be prejudiced on this channel. And like I said, there's a level of nostalgia with these for me because me and my buddies used to buy them and, you know, smoke them at the bars, the pubs, whatever. And we'll tell you, smoke output on these bad boys. It's a lot of smoke. Impressive amount of smoke for such a little cigar. And I do believe that these little things have quite a concentration of nicotine in them compared to the big cigars that I normally smoke. If I was to smoke like 2, maybe 3 of these back to back, I think I'd be feeling a little unwell. Meanwhile, if I smoked like a 6-inch long 50 ring gauge Robusto cigar, I don't get that. It's a nice day. I might have to take a ride down to my tobacconist, see what they got in-house for me. These cigars make me want to spit too. A cigar that makes you want to spit might not be a good cigar. Just saying. I'll take one more drag off of this bad boy. I'm going to dispatch the tobacco amongst the wilderness in my yard, and a plastic tip is going to go right in a fucking garbage bin because I do not feel like running over that with my lawnmower as spring settles in.